morning, everybody. Happy Motivation Monday. This is trainer Nick Murillo checking in with you guys. I am over here in Tampa this week. It is really hot. Hopefully, you guys are staying cool wherever you're at on this beautiful Monday morning here. The quote this week is from a guy, I don't know if you heard him, named Steve Jobs. He says, "Every good product I've ever seen is because a group of people cared deeply about making something wonderful that they and their friends wanted. They wanted to use it themselves." The reason I wanted to start with that quote, guys, is kind of that mindset around selling insurance, right? You guys have to believe in the product you're selling. If you don't believe in the product you're selling, your customer's not going to believe in the product that you're selling, right? So it's very important. Pick products that you believe in, that you're a fan of, because that's going to come across that your customers hear that, they feel that, they're drawn to that, okay? So very, very important. All right, so we'll get started here. Happy Motivation Monday. As usual, we are going to go over some tips of the week for you guys. We are going to do our sales shout outs. We actually will have a guest speaker on with us this week as well. I have a good friend of mine, one of our Medicare trainers here, Mr. David Schneider, who's going to go over why Medicare and why to sell that as we're getting kind of pumped up for AEP here. So David, you could say hi.
Hi, everybody. This is Trainer David to go along with Trainer Nick, and I'll be going over why you would like to be selling Medicare if you don't already.
Beautiful. Thanks, David. We're excited for that, guys. Again, obviously, Medicare season's ramping up here, so really excited to have David kind of share some of his knowledge with you there. And then, obviously, a quick survey at the end and everything with that. So we'll jump right in, guys. The tips of the week this week. First one, Pivot Health is done a short-term rate adjustment. Now, this is a couple months ago, but we just sent this out this week as well, again, because want to make sure that you guys are selling it, right? So look over the states. Obviously, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, Illinois, some huge reductions in the double digits there. Make sure you guys are using that to your advantage, right? Everything's been reduced. It looks like the majority of the states that they're selling have been reduced. The reductions do vary by zip code, so check that out. But look at them. See how those rate reductions are comparing for you guys, and see if that makes this a product that fits in your portfolio that you can offer to your customers. Make it a product that you guys can believe in, right? So very, very important there. The other tip of the week, tomorrow, there's going to be a training on a final expense product from Prosperity Life. So whether that's, whether final expense is something that you currently sell or don't, maybe it's something you're interested in, you've heard about it, maybe you know nothing about it, but you're like, hey, I got some free time tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific to start your day if you're on the West Coast. If you guys just want to jump into that and check it out, you're more than welcome to. So look at that. That should have gone out in an email that had a registration link for it. So look for that, guys. Always fun to add some different tools to the tool belt there, right? All right, so our sales leaders for last week, the week of July 22nd, kind of very close tie again between between United and NatGen on the short-term side. Really, we've got great numbers on both of those, and it's kind of 50-50 on where we're sitting there. This week, NatGen's Foundation Health was the top limited med seller. So great job to you guys selling that. Accident was Plan Enhancer again through NatGen. Critical illness, NatGen. So we're strong NatGen week in general. And then dental, Golden Rule stayed strong for a few weeks here, and Emeritus continues to be a great dental product that we're pushing there. So great job there, guys. As far as our sales leaders for short term, we have Mikkel Simmons as number one this week. So great job there. Katya again coming in always on the tops on this list. So great job, Katya. And then Anthony Burrelli. So great job, guys, for short-term sales this week. As far as limited med, Katya again, and then Sabrina Cave. So a couple new names on the list. Great job there, guys. And then accident, Cody Randazzo. Cody's always solid on top of this list. And then James Schuler. So all in all, great job this week, guys. Continue to go out there and get it. I love seeing new names on this list. So continue to push, continue to do that, guys. Great job. And with that, I am now going to pass it over to my good friend David, who's going to walk us through why Medicare, right? And prepping for AEP for this year. So David, take over.
All right, so AEP that's that time of year where everybody that's already on Medicare has their opportunity to make a change. You know, they can decide that they want to change companies or change plans within the company, but each of those is an opportunity for you to be able to make some money. Let's go to the next slide. So kind of, you know, why? And it's really just a matter of demographics and population. We're at that point where the baby boom generation, which was that large post-World War II group where they all came back from the war and started families, they're rolling into that turning 65 and going on to Medicare. And they're not doing it in any small numbers. They are huge numbers. It's literally 10,000 a day are newly eligible for Medicare. And so it's just growing at just, you know, if you look at the graph, you can see that we're on the steepest part of that expansion of, you know, the numbers coming in. And it's literally down to, if you just do the math, 10,000 a day, that's every second, 8 people become eligible. Currently, when we look at the population out there, it's 1 in 8 is Medicare eligible. That's you know, over 65 years old. But over the next 10 years here, from 2020 to 2030, this is going to go to 1 in 4. So that would literally mean that 25% of the business out there is going to. Okay, next slide. So we also look at, you know, what makes up that Medicare population. Okay, as we all know, and we see it leave our paychecks all the time, it's 173 million people out there working that are contributing to Medicare. And so they're supporting that 58.4 million that are actually receiving the Medicare benefits. And as you break that down even further, 49 million are the 65 and older, and about 9 million are those who, for one reason or another, are receiving Medicare. There are a couple of things that will put you on Medicare long before you're 65 is any kind of end-stage kidney disease, problems with your kidneys like that, where you're on dialysis, Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, and then anybody who's like been injured on the work, or not necessarily on work, but maybe they're injured and can't work any longer. So those rules will say after 2 years of being on disability, you're going to transition over to Medicare for your medical. But as we break down that population out there, you'd see that about 1/3 of all the people on Medicare are receiving that through their retirement plan. Now, while that doesn't sound like they're going to be anybody that's eligible, that's not true. Many of these people their companies and their unions are finding that Medicare is just too expensive. You know, for them to be funding it, and they're letting those people go. They're lapsing those plans and forcing them to go out and go on to Medicare themselves and pay for it. The entire city of Chicago dropped the medical retirement plans for the police and fire. That was about 2 years ago. And so all of those people came into Medicare. So all the people that were selling in that group just made a ton of money that year. So even though they're all off there, like I said, about 1/3 of them are off doing, a company plan. Those are just kind of slowly going away. Then you'll see there that about 7 million are on Medicaid. Now I'm going to plug our future series here of Medicare plans that are being, where we're going through and doing the webinars on Medicare. Medicaid people have a continuous enrollment where you're able to enroll them in a new plan at just about any time. There's some rules in there, and we'll be going over those, but that's a large population of people that are eligible to enroll in plans. Now, you see in the next big piece of the pie there, about 1/4 or 11 million are already in a Medicare Advantage plan. Statistically, we know that 1 in 4 will change their plan every year. Of course, it's a statistic, so some people will go longer, some people will do it multiple times, maybe once a year. But anyway, those are the people that we're really targeting for the AEP. So there's a lot of money to be made there. And then you can see about 8 million are using Medigap. And if you could go on to the next slide there, Nick. What we would see then is that leaves about 4.7, about 5 million people that have absolutely nothing right now. They're what they call original Medicare. They have their A and B, but they don't have any kind of supplement. They don't have any kind of an advantage plan. And those people are literally eligible right now to be able to sell them something. So those are going to be, and there's a lot of groups in there. That could be veterans are usually tend to fall into that group, and there's plans for them. In fact, Humana is marketing directly to veterans with a plan that they have. Okay, but you can see that these are a wide variety, and almost everybody out there in that over 65 is in one way or another a potential customer. Next slide. So as we go on to why we should be selling this, in Medicare, the commissions are really pretty good. If you're looking at the plans that are called the Medigap plans or the actual Medicare supplement, you're looking at making 15 to 17% of that premium. So that's pretty good there. Remember, that's going to be a monthly paycheck. Okay, and then if it's going to be one of the Medicare Advantage plans, many of those have 0 premium, but that's not what you get paid on. You get paid by the plan, and depending on I always throw in, there's a lot of little caveats there. It kind of depends on where you're selling it, which plan you're selling, and which company, but those commissions vary from $200 to $500 just for selling that one application. And the retention, those people that purchase those plans for Medigap plans tend to stay with them. They just don't ever seem to drop them. They just go on and on. And those that are buying, like I said, the Medicare Advantage plans tend to hold on to them for about 4 years, and then usually something has changed in their life, maybe a new prescription, maybe their doctor left the network, but something that drives them back into the market to want to take a look at those again. So one of the things in Medicare is you're going to continue making contact with those people. You get retainers the whole time that the person kept the plan, and you want to be the person that sells them the new plan when something changed. So you just hold on to those customers, and you'll have a great retention and retainers in commissions as it all goes along. Now, each year we're looking at about over 3 million eligible seniors coming into the market each year. I'd always start with your current book and look at those people, because you know who's turned 65. You've got a book of short-term sales and maybe some traditional health insurance, and for those, as you know, when they turn 65 and you want to just sell them that next plan. Okay, I think the next slide there. Oh yeah, we were saying that by 2030, it's going to be about 65 million over 65, and that's going to be about 25% of the population that's actually out there buying medical insurance. So if I haven't convinced you, I'll just take a look at our oncoming, on the calendar for the oncoming classes. Okay, thank you, Nick.
David, thank you so much for that. Guys, hopefully that was some good information for you guys. We're going to have our Medicare training team, David, and then also Loren. They're going to be doing many trainings over these next couple months for us to get us ready to go. So if Medicare is something you guys are interested in, we got the team here for you guys. Look out for many more of these to come again. David, thank you so much. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, you can email training@ahcpsales.com. You can also call agency services at 877-228-8773. Guys, I just want to thank you so much for attending this Motivation Monday. Have a wonderful week. And David, again, thank you so much.